Hello, this is Trudy DeWitt, and welcome everyone. I'll give everyone just another minute and we'll get started. Okay, as people gather, just a few more, just a little bit more time for folks to join, and we'll get started. I see our attendees are joining us. Okay, fantastic. Again, hello, good afternoon, good morning. This is Trudy DeWitt again with Calix. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today for our webinar, Want to Elevate Productivity for Network Teams in 2025, Think Automation. Before our presenters begin, I want to share a few quick tips so that you can get the most out of your webinar experience. Located at the top toolbar on the right-hand side, you'll see your settings and control panel, where you'll find the question section. In this question section, indicated by the box with the question mark on the toolbar, we encourage you to submit any questions or comments you might have during the presentation by typing them in there. At the end of the presentation, we'll address those in the Q&A session. And if we don't get to yours, we'll send you a written response. Finally, we'll be having 4 live poll questions for you to take part in throughout the webinar, and we'd like to thank you in advance for your participation in these. This webinar is being recorded. I will post the link in the coming days on the Calix Webinar Hub, and be on the lookout for an email where you'll also find the link for your convenience. Now it's time for me to turn it over to our host, Andre Vera, Director of Product Marketing Manager here at Calix. Andre, the mic's all yours.
Hey, thank you, Trudy, and thank you and welcome everyone to the webinar, Think Automation. My name is Andre Vieira, and I am a Director of Product Marketing here at Calix, and joining me is my colleague, Alan Marks, who's also on the product marketing team. And we focus on helping service providers like you connect your subscribers to their services and your communities to the world. And today, I'm really, really excited because we have a great agenda for you. We're going to provide you context on the market and why focusing on subscriber experience really differentiates your offering and your business. And then we're going to show you the platform approach and the key characteristics that you're going to need to have in this platform that you deploy to be successful. And then I'm super excited because we're going to give you 7 automations that you need to have in your platform or in your broadband network that's going to make your life easier, that's going to enhance your subscriber experience, and is really going to help your business grow. And benefit, and really is going to benefit you from this automation. And then at the end, we're going to provide you with an ebook that really highlights the key automation capabilities that you need and goes into more detail. So really excited about that. So to get started, I'm going to hand it over to Alan, and he's going to talk to you about embracing the experience mission.
Great. Thank you, Andre, and hi, everyone. Yep, so I just want to talk for a minute about experiences. If you were at our Calix Connections customer conference in Vegas back in the fall, or if you've heard our CEO, Michael Veining, speak recently, then you know that Calix is on a mission to help broadband service providers evolve into broadband experience providers. And this is a transition that not only will benefit the subscribers, but it will also drive meaningful business outcomes for you, right? So everywhere that you look across many different industries, you see how successful the transformation to experience provider has been. You look at Uber or Spotify or Venmo. I mean, I can't remember the last time I hailed a taxi, and I don't think there's any such thing anymore as waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio. And then, who knows when the last time I wrote a check was? I have no idea. So just to the next slide, Andre. So, basically it's clear that experiences have won. And you can go on to the next slide. And, we can see how the, biggest competitors in the broadband industry are talking about how they're elevating experiences. You've probably seen their ads in any of the, popular sports broadcasts, and you've seen their marketing campaigns. I'm just showing a few clips of it here on this slide. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad over the streaming over the webinar, but Spectrum, Comcast, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, they're all talking about how they're elevating subscriber experiences. And, when I looked at that Spectrum Life Unlimited ad in the middle there, it is good marketing, I'll give them that. But we'll see if they put their time, attention, and energy where their mouth is, so to speak, and actually deploy, new technologies and new services and operate and support it all with the subscriber experience at the center of everything they do. They don't have a good track record of doing that, right? Whereas many of you do. Both Comcast and AT&T's NPS scores are -17, that's with a minus sign in front. And, if you think that's bad, which it definitely is, Spectrum is way worse at -82, and that's right as of this month, February of 2025. On the other hand, many of our customers, probably many of you on this webinar, have NPSs that are, above 70 or 80 or even 90, and that's where, you want to continue to be. So you can, on the next slide, you can go to the next slide. So, you're evolving to be an experience provider in an environment where, subscriber expectations are changing, right? These expectations are being set, as we were just talking about, by brands like Uber and Apple and Amazon, and for as historically bad as the big service providers have been about customer service, we do see that, now they're focusing on elevating the subscriber experience, right? Subscribers expect a high level of personalized service and offers, and they have, very little patience for things not working or for issues lingering on unresolved. And in industry surveys, we've seen that a significant majority of subscribers want their service providers to respond faster to their needs. So, on the next slide, this is where we've seen technology rapidly evolving to address these expectations and market needs. Basically many of you folks here attending this webinar are building, our country's most advanced fiber networks, right? Leveraging our intelligent access, cloud, and customer prem, gateway portfolio, along with a whole ecosystem of partners and technology integrations. But, not only does this address today's needs, but it allows you to get out in front of future needs, right? And in a way that's operationally efficient. We're seeing service providers really focus on operational efficiency as a way to balance innovative growth with great subscriber experience and lowest cost per bit operations, right? In fact, in another survey, we found that 95% of BSPs report that to remain competitive, they have to focus on operational efficiency to deliver a reliable and consistent subscriber experience. So you want to leverage automation, right, and integrations to simplify support and operations processes so that there's future-proof infrastructure on which to build, launch, and support these exceptional subscriber experiences. And we see how business opportunities are expanding, right, with new services and into new markets. And if we look at all of the smart life services that you can deploy, like smart home and smart town and smart MDU and smart biz, it's clear that operations needs to simplify so that these services can be deployed and managed at scale and with efficiency. So on the next slide, Andre, yep. So all of this leads us to the fact that operational needs are changing, right? Operations teams need to simplify the creation and deployment and activation of new services, and they need to simplify the management and support of these services and the network. I mean, basically, they need to do everything they're doing today and more, but typically with the same resources. So this is where automation comes in. You can go to the next slide. So this is a critical capability that enables you to transform network operations by saving you time and helping you move from reactive to proactive. You know, as a result, what you'll see are operations improvements like reduced outage time, fewer folks calling in for support, improved service availability and reliability, fewer truck rolls and technician dispatches, and improved and optimized network performance. In a few slides, we'll talk about some customer examples. Our Calix customer success team will, and like customers who have dramatically reduced, in some cases more than 85% inbound support calls using things like automated outage notifications. So that will be upcoming. So on the next slide, so the time. Can you go to the next slide? Yep. So the time savings that you'll achieve through automation are really due to the fact that you can supplement your team's expertise with the automation by automating repetitive, labor-intensive workflows. And so now you have more efficient processes, you have less error. Also, when you have an automated solution that provides the right information to the right people at the right time automatically in the case of an outage or service disruption, then you save a lot of time compared to, for example, having people have to gather data together and put it in another visualization tool or spreadsheet or something, and then email it to the relevant team or export it to another system like your OSS BSS. So again, not only does this save time for the operations team, but it improves the subscriber experience because problems are solved quickly, right? And speaking of solving problems quickly, one of the most transformative aspects of automation is that it helps operations teams go from reactive to proactive, right? You can be automatically monitoring the network to identify trends, performance degradation, and subscriber impacts, and you can configure your Calix Cloud applications to automatically provide network performance reports and notifications to the appropriate teams and systems. So on the next slide, yep. So what does automation mean to your subscribers, right? It means that instead of them calling the help desk with a problem, issues are solved before problems occur, right? Because you're using proactive automated network monitoring, for example. It means that repair times, let's say in the case of outages or service disruptions, are dramatically reduced, right? Because teams are receiving automated real-time alerts and notifications, right? It means that problems are identified and solved quickly because you have things like automated early warning reports on network performance and utilization. It means that truck rolls and technician dispatches are reduced because these teams are automatically provided with network performance and service disruption information without those issues having to be escalated. And it means that installations and repairs are done right the first time because automation and guided workflows in our field service app, as one example, simplify on-site installation and repair processes. So ultimately, from the subscriber perspective, it means that everything just works, right? Yep, now you can go on to that next slide. And what does automation mean to your operations, right? This is basically, this is what's going to help you achieve operational excellence. You can see from these bullets here, and the customer success team is going to talk about the customer use cases that deliver these results in a couple minutes. But we've had customers that have decreased mean time to repair in outages by more than 70%, right? They reduced inbound, I've mentioned this before, they reduced inbound support calls in outages by more than 85%. They've reduced problem escalations and response time to such an extent that they've achieved NPSs of higher than 90. They've reduced the number of truck rolls and technician dispatches by more than 30%. And they've reduced the amount of time spent on manual network monitoring really from hours to minutes. So yeah, on the next slide, Andre. Yep, thank you. So at the end of the day, automation is about making life better for your network operations team, right? By using more automation, folks are freed up to focus on higher value activities like network planning and delivering new services. Teams can do more and they can do it faster through improved efficiency, which, ultimately translates into a better subscriber experience. And, issues can be identified quickly and more accurately with real-time alerting and notifications and reporting to not only the operations teams, but to the support teams and to the field techs as well. So with that, I think we're on to the first poll question. Yep. What do you think is the most important benefit to employing more automation in your day-to-day operations? That you're freeing up time for folks to focus on higher value activities, you have a faster service turn up and shorter time to revenue, you have a better subscriber experience through that proactive troubleshooting that I was talking about, or you're able to, resolve critical issues with an ecosystem that has these simplified and automated OSS and BSS integrations. So you're going to show the results, right, Trudy? Okay.
Freeing up time, Alan. Number one.
I mean, well, that's what customers have told me, that they've that they've saved a lot of time. They've saved a lot of time with automated monitoring. They've saved a lot of time on automated provisioning. They've saved a lot, for sure. They definitely saved a lot of time. Yep. And then let's see that again. Can you just go back to that for 1 sec? And then better subscriber experience, proactive troubleshooting. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I would have expected there.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. So I'm gonna just briefly talk to you about, and I know everyone on the call is thinking about, this is fantastic. I'm definitely looking to improve my network and use automation, but AT&T and Xfinity and Spectrum, they have hundreds of PhD engineers. How do I do this? I have a small shop, or I'm a small BSP. How do I get the benefits of automation? And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about here, is that using the Calix broadband platform, you can do that. You can, beat the giant, I guess is what I would call it. The Calix platform really empowers service providers with this revolutionary foundation for delivering managed services and enhancing the subscriber experience. And it also helps service providers like you overcome the challenges of deploying, integrating, scaling, and these traditional networks. It really also enables you to focus on the subscriber from a day one and differentiate your service offering, especially in a competitive market. It has everything you need to grow the revenue and reduce your costs. It really streamlines operations, making life easier, and integrates new technologies to deploy new services faster and more efficiently. And there are really three core components to the Calix broadband platform, as you can see here. One is this comprehensive, flexible, resilient broadband network solution, intelligent access that helps you, enables you to rapidly deliver broadband services to subscribers regardless of their location, from high density urban areas all the way to low density remote locations, and you can do this cost effectively. Second, you have the unlimited subscriber, which is a portfolio of cloud managed Wi-Fi systems that for homes, small businesses, and MDUs, that really allows you to connect subscribers from to the internet from the subscriber gateway. I'm really excited about that. And then finally, encompassing is the Calix Cloud. Specifically, you'll see demos today and automation today around the operations cloud that enable your organization to really transform your operations processes and workload using automation, real-time insights, and proactive intelligence. So we're going to step into that next. So what are the characteristics of the platform for elevating your productivity? So let me just quickly highlight those. First, they're the integrated cloud, which I just finished talking about. It really delivers this end-to-end insight and visibility that enhances the operational support and marketing workflows for better team productivity and subscriber experience. Second is having a software-defined operating system, and like our intelligent access systems and with our AXOS and EXOS that supports hardware and software abstraction layer and allows you to add new capabilities without changing the workflows and having common workflows and doing that cost effectively. It provides you the flexibility to reduce the complexity of of your network operations. And then there's automation. That's another key component. It really utilizing automation to rapidly deploy new services and simplify workflows, as Alan mentioned earlier, and then automating provisioning of data, video, and voice subscriber services from the residential gateway all the way to the Wi-Fi systems to the optical line terminal, and streamlining those operations to reduce manual processes. And then finally, and also there's actionable insights. The important thing that any platform should have, and a key characteristic of that, is the ability to use actionable insights and telemetry from the end-to-end network and offering unmatched visibility to assure that network can service performance. And that telemetry is important to have observation points in the network to get that telemetry from the right place and provide the right information. This reduces the operational learning curve and also improves productivity. And then there's rapid innovation. In order to compete in the marketplace with the big competitors, you need to have fast service creation and delivery and support over a wide range of managed services that really help service providers like you reach new markets and subscribers quickly at low cost and be able to introduce new services quickly and much faster than the competition. And then finally, there's scalability, right? This ability to support new networks and scale your network with limited resources to support subscriber growth easily and really allow service providers to deliver this exceptional managed broadband experience to all the subscribers. These are the platform drivers that really help service providers achieve their business goals of being more operationally efficient, faster service deployment time, and of course, enhancing the subscriber experience. And automation is really how you can benefit is what I'm going to highlight next. I'm going to talk first about the intelligent access automations, and then we're going to pass it over to our cloud team, and we're going to give you real life examples that with the details about how they support automation in Operations Cloud. So first, as an example, in our intelligent access solution, some of you notice that there's a challenge of manual provisioning. And as you can see here, it requires multiple steps in coordination with technicians and the CSR, and it really requires knowledge of the network and where the customer is and how they're connected to the network. At Calix, we've automated that. We simplified the service delivery workflow. And how do we do that? Well, we added automation to allow the workflow for the CSR to pre-provision the service and the subscriber, even before, when the subscriber gets on the service, and then using a capability called automated network service provisioning, it allows you to quickly enter the ONT registration ID, and then when you deploy that ONT, either the subscriber deploys it or with a technician's help, that service is automatically provisioned in the network. This allows the CSR and the technician to focus on the subscriber and the service, and they don't need to know the network. They don't need to know what the office records are or where the network is connected in order to deliver the service, which allows you to speed up service delivery and automate that capability. So really excited. The key benefits of this solution is really to simplify and accelerate service provisioning and eliminate that manual provisioning process and the coordination with the tech and the CSR, or the coordination with the CSR and the customer, if the customer can automatically re-provision an ONT in less than a minute. So pre-provisioning also eliminates truck rolls. Truck rolls is a big expense in many of the service providers, and really your subscribers' services can quickly be turned up without a truck roll, depending on your workflow process, and enable you to turn up and meet the subscriber's need, when they need the service to come up, even if they can also do it themselves. So this provides operational savings and eliminates times and eliminates errors, and also reduces the technician's time, allowing the technicians to focus on revenue generating opportunities and other types of activities in the network versus customer turnout time. Another example that I really wanted to highlight here is this example of the options you have for accelerating deployment. I talked about the network side of it here, but the platform really provides options for you to integrate the workflows that are built in, which means that the service provider like you does not have to build these from scratch. So these workflows are built in, and you have options using the platform. You can do self-upgrade or have the subscriber self-upgrade their system. They can do self-install after the fiber's in place, or they can do, some people like hand-to-hand white glove service, and you can allow the technician to visit and do an on-site install with a technician. All those are possible depending on your processes, which is really exciting in the sense that you have the capability for do-it-yourself, so that the subscriber can be sent a GigaSpire or GigaPro system, and this really gives the BSP the ability to elevate the subscriber experience without a truck roll, right? Using Calix Cloud, BSPs can pre-configure the Wi-Fi system and automatically provision and sync that subscribers using the Command IQ app to when it's plugged in. So as soon as the Wi-Fi system is plugged in, it will automatically turn up the system. The other one is this assisted subscriber self-install. The subscriber can use the app, or they can also call in to the BSPs, to the customer support team using Calix Cloud. They can easily set up the subscriber if they prefer that convenience of talking to a person online. And then finally, I know I speak to many service providers who like to have the technician visit on site for first customers, just as an introduction and an ability to see the environment. And so that capability using our field service app allows the technician to visit the home and empowers the technician to deliver that service. So the service is pre-provisioned. Once the equipment is plugged in, the technician scans the barcode, and all the information from the cloud shows up on the app, and the technician can quickly configure the service and then show the customer how to use the app to view their service and modify it and so forth. So really excited about these capabilities that automate the process, and it gives you options as a service provider to, one of the things I want you to think about is how you migrate your workflow within your territory. You may want to start with full technician install and then move to other types of self-install as you grow and scale your business. Next, I wanted to give you a quick capability in my last example here about managing IP address management. This is a challenge for many service providers. You may not realize it because many solutions out there need IPv4 address space and subnets. Most of the time, most service providers use multi-netting. If you talk to your network engineer, you know that they're using spreadsheets and manual processes to keep track of all these subnets. By doing multi-netting, you lose available address space because you can apply a subnet to a particular area, but if you don't have a take rate of subscribers in that area, you don't use that IP address and you lose it. The implications are higher cost. You have to purchase more IP addresses. And also there's a lot of time and manual processes and errors that can occur, especially if you have to re-engineer your network, then you have to re-engineer your subnet space, which is really challenging. So we've introduced automated access network gateway capability. It really automates this critical task of IP address management and really delivers a unique address from a shared resource, a shared global resource repository where this pool of all the IP addresses that you have are shared across the network. The benefits of this is it boosts productivity by eliminating that complexity we talked about earlier, and really eliminates the stranded IP addresses we talked about, and reduces the need for you to spend your resources to purchase new IP addresses as you move forward. So really excited about, these are just some of the examples of automation that I wanted to share with you. There's much more, at least in the network side. Next, I wanted to quickly move to a poll. So Trudy, if you can read the poll, or cool, share the poll. Thank you very much. The poll is, in which areas of the network deployment would you like to see more automation? In system turnup, in troubleshooting and resolution, in real-time traffic optimization to enhance network performance, in backup and recovery, and in security patching. So take a few minutes and answer the survey. I'd like to see what your thoughts are there. How we doing, Trudy? Ah, perfect. Hey, Alan, troubleshooting and resolution recommendations. That's number one by far. I'm actually excited about that.
Yep, that sounds familiar from the other poll.
Yeah, it's really an area that we're seeing, and you're going to be seeing here in terms of being able not just to add automation but to add some intelligence in terms of how to fix the problem. Because at the end of the day, as Alan spoke earlier, it's about reducing the mean time to repair. And what that does is it reduces the frustration your subscribers have, and that reduces churn, which is important to your business, to reduce that customer churn. Many of those large providers, you're always seeing their churn rates are really high, especially when they announce their annual reports. But we're focused on helping subscribers reduce those, BSPs reduce those churn rates. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dean, and Dean and the team is going to introduce customer use cases for automation. Dean?
Thank you, Andre. And now we're going to talk about some real automation use cases. But first, I'd like to get started by introducing my operations and engineering success and engagement team that will speak to each of the cases. So we have senior success managers, Rebecca Batzel, Philip Camp, Brandon Stout, Valente Gonzalez, and as Andre mentioned, I'm Dean Ulita. Next slide, please. So one of Calix customer success's main objective is to accelerate the time to market, either being with quickly adopting and marketing new solutions to your subscribers, such as managed Wi-Fi or Calix's smart home solution to increase your revenue, or on the support and operations side with adopting the full capabilities of Service Cloud and Operations Cloud to reduce operating expenses while increasing your customer satisfaction and reducing churn, as Andre just spoke about. This is achieved by working with our subject matter experts, such as the team that I just introduced you to, or with our expanded success team that supports network consulting, network design, project management, and training. We have seen our service providers achieve a significant reduction in deployment time and faster time to migrate new technology. So let's start off by hearing from Senior Success Manager Philip Camp on using automation to identify service disruptions. Philip?
Thank you, Dean, and good afternoon, everybody. So automated reports play a crucial role in enhancing our ability to quickly respond to service disruptions. And we have multiple ways to deliver these notifications to you. That could be via email, text messages, or even webhooks. One key feature for reporting will be the service disruption report. Using this report, your team will be quickly notified when the number of new outages on your network exceed a defined threshold that you've set, so alerting you to that event happening. Another tool is the consolidated alarm report that is going to allow us to have an alarm raised when we see concentrations of service disrupted customers at various scopes, such as the same PON interface, the same shelf, location, or region. Now, internally, we are in Operations Cloud, we call these transform alarms. And once you have these alarms raised, you can easily configure to have a notification sent to you and your team when these events occur. you'll receive a report that tells you what network scope was impacted and which devices or interfaces have contributed to that event happening. So this is going to allow you to easily judge the scale and the scope of the event to get a handle on what's happening in your network there. And it's not just transform alarms. In fact, any alarm raised in Operations Cloud, we can configure to have an immediate notification sent. So when you see these alarms that could have a subscriber impact, like maybe an ONT missing, loss of PON, we can have an immediate notification delivered, allowing you to act quickly and reduce the amount of time your subscribers are out of service. So just one anecdote here is that a customer of mine shared a story where it's a really small shop and the same person who manages the network also has responsibilities in the field. And after he enabled these automated notifications, he was out in the field and a fiber cut happened, and he was able to receive those notifications, which allowed him to change course and prioritize resolving the outage instead of wrapping up what he was doing and then moving on to the next project and going back in the office and realizing we had customers out of service. So just a quick, simple example of how you can use some of these automation tools to your advantage. And in the future, we're looking at how we can leverage AI and machine learning to make these reports even more useful. So with that, I'll next slide, and I'll hand it over to Valente.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon, everybody. So we just listened to all the benefits that Operations Cloud can provide you to react faster and more efficient to events in your network. Now, I'd like to show you how Operations Cloud would help you to provide proactive maintenance and do advanced troubleshooting of your network via automatic reports that will provide you helpful insights of the status of your network and your outside plant as well. For starters, we can create daily, weekly, or monthly reports based on any specific alarm, a group of alarms, or a full category of alarms, like battery alarms, fiber ring related alarms. This way, we can have a heads up for dispatching crews to specific areas, or even taking the opportunity, if there is a technician in a specific area, taking care of more than one issue at once. One example that we have with a customer is they receive daily reports for all battery-related alarms. This way, when they see a bad battery alarm, ONT on battery alarm, or any other useful information related to batteries, they can schedule a visit even before the customer may be aware that there is an issue. We have as well different predetermined reports that can be sent weekly to specific groups or areas in your company. This will include optical outliers, which will identify ONTs with fluctuations in the power level or too many VIP errors. We have early warning capacity reports for PON ports or Ethernet uplinks ports. This has been a big help for some of our customers with large networks because they can plan ahead expansions in their networks. Early warning PON loss to inform you when there are multiple ONTs in one PON with line-level issues, so you can prevent a loss of PON and prevent that all the customers connected to that PON port can lose service. We can create as well automatic reports using IP flows information using our traffic module. So you can have daily, weekly, or monthly reports about, for example, main consumers of bandwidth, who are the top subscribers, or the use for specific applications that are consuming more bandwidth. We have a customer using this report, so they know how to plan their network. If there is a specific application, a specific port using more bandwidth than some others. In general, all these reports can be helpful to identify specific issues with your network. Some of them will indicate a problem in the outside plant as well. For example, we have VIP errors, signal degraded VIP error. So, and we know that these are usually caused by a physical problem. So if we can identify the common point of those alarms, the severe VIP errors, low light levels, we can determine when the problem is closer to a specific customer, a splitter, or next to the port. By doing this, we can dispatch a crew directly to the source of the problem, saving your time and saving you truck rolls in the future. So in general, this is a way to proactively act in your network. So, and now I will give it to Brandon.
Thanks, Valente. Let's go to the next slide there. So service provisioning is another place where automation can really help you in your network. And it's going to be a key place where automation can really help you out, because these are tasks that you're going to be doing hundreds and potentially thousands of times as you're adding subscribers in your network and essentially upgrading subscribers to new services and things like that. So it's really a place that you want to have automation in place, because automation can do a few things. It can make things simpler for you. It can speed up your activations, and it's a repeatable and reliable experience for the customer and for whoever's provisioning the service when you use automation. A few ways that you can use automation for doing service provisioning. One way that we see a lot of customers do it today is they have a automated flow-through provisioning through their billing provider, through their OSS billing provider, integrated with either our SMX product, which does provisioning of ONTs, or even through our operations cloud interface there. We have automation. We have OSS BSS providers that do automations for both of those products there. And even if you don't have an automation through your billing provider, you can still use the Ops Cloud service provisioning interface to do manual provisioning. And this provides automation because it provides a guided workflow, and it's a true end-to-end experience. Whereas in SMX, you may just be provisioning an ONT. With the Ops Cloud service provisioning guided workflow, you can provision the end-to-end service from your ONT to your RG, all the way with your managed services for things like Experience and Protect IQ and all your managed services that you may be provisioning there. Also, Andre mentioned before the global ONT functionality there. And the global ONT functionality is another level of automation that can help you out, because again, it simplifies your provisioning processes. Again, the provisioner doesn't need to know the network details, things like VLANs, things like the actual OLT, or even the PON port where an ONT is going to be provisioned on. Using the global ONT functionality there, they can pre-provision the service, and whenever that ONT comes online, wherever it comes online, whatever OLT or whatever PON port it actually shows up on, that's when the provisioning gets pushed down to that actual network element. So the person doing the provisioning doesn't have to know the details of your network exactly, again, which PON, which OLT, where that's going to be provisioned. All that's done under the covers with the automation part of it. So the automation really provides the simplicity for anybody to do the provisioning, because you don't have to know very much. Basically, you just have to know what service I'm going to provide to the customer. That really frees up a lot of your more experienced network resources to actually do more detailed tasks, things like network troubleshooting, network planning, like Andre mentioned before. It also provides a very reliable experience. And with that reliable experience, because you know it's going to be provisioned the same way every time, you're not just saving time on the front end, you're really saving time later on the back end, because when you have problems and the network engineers are actually troubleshooting those problems, the last thing they want to have to do is go try to figure out how a service was actually provisioned each time. That's time wasted on the back end. So you're really saving time there, because with the automation in place, you know how it was provisioned every single time. So you save a whole lot of time on the back end as well. So again, the three places where I like to think that automation can help you there with the service provision is making it simple, making it faster, and making it a much more reliable and repeatable experience for you. So with that, I want to turn it over to Rebecca.
Thanks, Brandon, and good afternoon, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk about the benefits of automation and network operations, but I'm focusing on system turnup and upgrades for the OLT and the RG. With automated system turnup and upgrades for the OLT, the automated OLT configuration or provisioning, also known as zero-touch provisioning, is an automated process that configures and provisions optical line terminals or OLTs without manual interventions. Basically, operators begin with a bit of prep work. A lot of time in the field, you have your golden config file, and you just copy that and paste it into each shelf. But what if you take that a step further, take that golden config file, load it onto a TFTP server, and then once an OLT is powered on and connected to the network, that OLT will obtain an IP and then the TFTP server address from your DHCP server. From there, the OLT then downloads and applies a necessary configuration file from the TFTP server, making it operational much more quickly and efficiently. And within the future, for Ops Cloud, Operators will have the ability to also manage their OLT upgrades from cloud, which includes pre and post verification processes to ensure the health of the system before and after the upgrade. And then with transitioning over to RGs, but sticking with cloud, by using TR69 in cloud, allows seamless configuration and management of RGs. With cloud, you have the option of on discovery, on boot, or scheduled workflow triggers where operators can automate applying configuration profiles and manage the firmware upgrades. This automation ensures that RGs are activated and configured without manual intervention. Benefits for that is, the simplified activation and turn up processes, where it improves the subscriber experience by ensuring that devices are configured correctly and quickly for both OLTs and RGs. While the technician is finalizing that physical install, tidying up cabling and cleaning up, these devices are pulling and applying the configuration so the services are ready to test when the technician is ready. This minimizes downtime and service disruptions because you're ensuring that devices are always running the latest and most secure software, and automation saves time compared to manual processes by eliminating repetitive tasks. With that, I think I hand it over to Dean for possibly a poll. Nope.
Not yet, getting there.
Not maybe a
Thank
poll,
you,
but maybe.
We're soon. And thank you, team, for sharing these automated automation use cases. You can see some amazing results from service providers that have actively engaged and partnered with our success organization. Some examples are Mid-South. They reduced inbound support calls by 88%. Just think how these gain resources could be used for revenue generating activities. Tom Bigby with a 75% reduction in mean time to repair, which has directly increased their customer satisfaction. Cumberland Connect with a 83% faster end-to-end network integration and 72% reduction in operating costs, allowing them to deploy new services quickly and efficiently. And even Verizon, one of your large companies out there, reducing their back office integration time with AXOS by 87%. And Firefly reducing installation truck rolls by 80%, significantly lowering their operating cost. This is just a few of the many documented positive results that we have with our service providers, what they've been able to achieve by using automation in either their implementation of new equipment, new services, or in troubleshooting and having their NOC use these tools to be able to get notified of outages quickly and acting at them. So now we'll go to our poll question. Okay, so which class of automation, which class of use cases we have the greatest impact on reducing OpEx and improving the subscriber experience? And select one of the following. Identification and notifications for service disruptions, that was talked about. Proactive maintenance and troubleshooting, ONT and RG service provisioning, and Rebecca spoke about OLT system upgrades with verification. Okay, we'll give a couple more seconds for everybody. Okay, that little close race here, leading the way, identification and notifications for service disruptions, and then followed closely by proactive maintenance and troubleshooting, and OLT and RG service provisioning. Sadly, at 0%, OLT systems upgrade with verification. Okay.
I won't take that poorly, Dean. But I do like the identification and notification of service disruptions. I mean, that's key, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was an example earlier, right, of you can take down a lot of customers you want to know fast, so you can quickly get that service back operational, right?
Exactly. Excellent. Okay, we'll jump to, we're going to have Q&A and a final poll question as well. So if we want to jump to the next slide there, okay?
Yeah. Folks can get their question in, their question into the Q&A if you have a question, or yeah, please enter it so our subject matter experts will go through it and provide your response.
All right. In the meantime, I'll hit off the last poll question for you. What are you interested in learning more about? And you can select multiple answers. This is an important question we like to include in all of our webinars so that we can continue to create and host webinars that are exactly what you're looking for. And you can see options here: intelligent access solutions, operations cloud, unlimited subscriber, and global architecture best practices. And again, you can pick more than one answer. And we do thank you for answering this question, since it'll, again, help us shape future webinars. And as Andre mentioned, don't hesitate if you have any questions to put them into the Q&A or the questions section of the GoToWebinar session.
Yeah, right now, Dean, the only question I see in there is just a question about, will the webinar be recorded and will the slides be available? The webinar definitely will be recorded. That is posted, I think, on the.
Did we lose?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. So let me just speak to the webinar recording. The webinar is being recorded now, and it will be posted to our webinar hub in probably about 3 to 5 days. And everybody here who has attended or registered for the webinar will be receiving a email from us with a link to not only the ebook that Andre mentioned earlier, but also to that recorded replay. So that is in the plans, and we will make sure that everybody sees that. And you're also able to, forward that link on to others that you think may have, similar interest in these topics as well.
Yeah, thanks, Trudy. Dean, I do see a question. Someone asked, which is a good question. These automations, are they included with the cloud, or how does that work? Is it out of the box, all the automations are there, or is there additional?
Yeah, meaning the automations and operations cloud that we spoke to, right, with the use cases.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, great question. They all are part of Operations Cloud, including up to our newest release, 25.1, which was released this morning, by the way. So everything that the team went through is actively being used by our customer base today, and some of them for probably a year or two more. So that's how we've been able to measure some of the efficiencies gained by them using those features in Ops Cloud, and then measuring before and after. So great question there.
Yeah, no, awesome. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I don't.
There was a question about the I think of back office integration and in speed in terms of being able to integrate into with our existing partners. Do you know anything about that? Can you speak to that, or about how quickly that is? Or we already have existing integrations with our partners. If you're using a BSS or OSS partner, how does that work? Can you talk about that?
Sure. As Andres mentioned, we do have partners that have already done integration into Operations Cloud. The example being, we have a BSS OSS partner that has taken the alarms, the subscriber alarms coming from Operations Cloud, and then being able to send out notifications to those subscribers through SMS text messages to say that, we know that your service is down, here's an estimated time to repair. So that's one example of the integration that our partners have done. And it's every day they're working on more and more of them, right? Either enhancing how they integrate with Operations Cloud by having flags such as, high valued subscriber that they can mark in the billing system, and then that gets pushed up into Operations Cloud so that they can get special attention when an alarm comes up. And there's more being developed all the time.
Yeah, just a comment, follow up on that, Andre, with what Dean is talking about right there. That particular case where we had where the customer's OSS partner did an integration with Ops Cloud, where we provided that alarm data and that outage service disruption data via webhooks to that particular partner's customer management system, where, like as Dean was saying, ultimately the subscribers got notifications about the progress of the the outage and the resolution and all of that sort of stuff. And from a time perspective, that was done very quickly. I remember when we were first talking about doing that, and then just a couple of months later, we already had they already had that working. So that was something that was done very quickly. And I would just say that, if you are a customer that's interested in doing something like that, then working with your OSS BSS partner and having them and you work with us, I think is something that's that we've done before, that's easy for us to do, and that won't take that much time to develop that kind of integration.
Yeah.
Also,
thanks.
Alan, I just add to that. I know that they spoke to that and presented that at Connections in October, and I think the outcome of that, if I remember correctly, was a significant reduction in, again, calls coming in from their subscribers to their help desk, because they were proactively notifying them that they were aware of the outage. Sort of like I could use, example, I get a text message when we have a power outage. We don't spend time then calling up the power company, because I know that they're aware of it, and that's what they found when they implemented that.
Yeah, I'll just make a note. I mean, let's make a note, Trudy, in the follow-up with folks, where we're going to send out the links and some content. Let's also send that case study. We have a case study written up on that, and we can send them that case study also.
Sure.
All right, sounds good. I think that's all the questions we have. So to quickly summarize, as we said in the agenda, we started out by providing you, Alan Marks provided you the context of the market, how your competitors are focusing on experience. They're not there 100% yet. They're at least talking about it in their advertising, and you need to leverage the capabilities that you have and the platform to allow you to be more competitive, to differentiate your services, and to reduce churn and increase your ARPU in your market. And that differentiated is going to make your business successful. Next, we showed you the platform approach and the key characteristics that you need to look at in terms of when you pick a platform that allow you to quickly accelerate and take that platform to deliver services faster, to troubleshoot issues quickly and reduce the mean time to repair, and just to make your life easier. This is really about making your life easier. And then lastly, you saw the 7 automations that you need to have in your broadband network, right, to make that life easier. So really excited about that. I hope this was a useful webinar to you. And please, Trudy, I know we're following up with some information, right?
Yes, everybody will receive the information, and yeah, look for your email in the coming days. And thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep, have a great day, and thanks for
Thank you, everyone.